All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is the most difficult part, is when we are networking and then we have to get in again. But the show has to go on. And now I would like to introduce Ambar Group. And this group will show us now a live show on drones. All right, we're just doing a little bit of test here on the connections. And I believe most of you do agree with me that drones have changed a lot of lives, whether it is in transportation, medical, military, and so many other aspects. So I think you're all set here. And please join me now in welcoming Amber Group founder and CEO Ishaq Omar, who will be representing real-life drones innovation.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for having me here. مرحبا أنا اسمي إسحاق وأنا من القدس. I am founder of a company called Amber Group from Israel, and I'm also the technical CTO. And we're going to talk today about drones. Something around 6-7 years ago, we found this strange thing that can fly. And we didn't know if it's a toy or what we have to do with this. It's flying without any wings. And we begin playing with it. That was a very big story and solution for photographers who can take pictures from above. But during these 6 years, drone became part of our life. We understand the power of this technology and what you can do with this. There is small drone, big drones that can lift many kilograms, and we find it in so many places. We can find drones today helping to medical issues. We can find drones in the agriculture places. We can find drone on security, watching, searching. You don't have to bring in a helicopter for that. So it became part of our life, and recently we saw even those things that can take people and fly them like a taxi from a place to place. But there is one method that stays the same. In order to fly this drone, you need a pilot. Now, he don't have to stay inside. He needs to use something called remote control. You see the thing? There's a wireless going between the remote control and the drone. Very simple. You have to be in eye contact. It's called line of sight in order to fly this thing. Without this control, you cannot fly the drone. So, let me tell you something. In our company, we develop drones, and not just the frame of the drone, for needs. We develop drones for many kinds of needs: electricity, agriculture, fighting fire, whatever. But there's one thing that I want to show you today that is really different. As I mentioned, you need to have this remote control, and it's connecting to the drone. And the only person that can see what's coming from the camera is the one that's flying the drone. So let us try to do something else today. Hope it will be good. Please. This is a live picture right now that we're getting from someplace in the world. And the picture is coming from a drone, like this. But look, we're getting here live video from this drone. It's coming to my computer, and it's connecting to the internet. Can we speak? Elon? Is it in mute? Can we speak? Hello? Guys? Can we speak? You get a feed? Can you speak? Just a second. O שומע אותי? Okay. Okay. So we'll use it. I think there is some issues in the connection here. But what you see here is a drone. This drone is in another place in the world today. And what we're going to do is that I'm going to operate the drone from my computer by myself. And we're going to show it to you. Look how simple it is. And everyone can do that. You don't need to have any knowledge regarding to flying drones. Just look what I'm going to press right now, and you can see it right in front of your eyes. Unlock. Okay? And look what I'm going to do. What's right here? Take off. I take off. I'm flying the drone by myself. There is another person that can look according to the regulation that everything's okay. But right now the drone is in the air. Let's make it fly above. Okay? We'll make it go up. You can see we're flying and we're controlling the drone from here. And let's see the view from the drone. Can you recognize the place? Of course, you can see here Jerusalem, El-Quds. And let's see. Live from Jerusalem, now we can see Al-Aqsa Mosque. Here you are, from the drone. And everything can be done from here. I'm going to control right now the camera. Someone want to join me to do that? I can ask someone to do if you want to see what is there. How can you do it by yourself? And it's very simple. Yeah. Everything is right now being controlled from this computer to Jerusalem. And you can see live, and we can operate everything from here. Just imagine to yourself that you can fly drone from any place to any place in the world. You don't have to be there. You don't have to know any knowledge. Please. See here? We are zooming. Press here, please. Yes? Press. Press. What do you see here?
Jerusalem.
What is here?
It's the Jerusalem stuff.
Of course. You see? And no, press here. Go to the zoom out. Yeah? No, here. Over here. Now, press here. You're zooming out, you see? You're controlling it?
Yeah. I can finish.
That's right. So actually, everything is being controlled. Now, what is amazing here, this drone have just only one SIM card like we're using in our telephone. The only thing that we're putting inside the drone is one SIM card. And everything is running from Jerusalem to the cellular company, to the internet, to Dubai, to my computer, and he was pressing it, it's automatically it's working at the same time. He's moving things mechanically, and we're flying it mechanically. Just imagine to yourself how powerful it could be to be in control of every event that can happen in the world. You need just few drones like that to be all around. If something happened, the control room can press and can send a drone by himself, and automatically you can get a picture. But you have to understand that all the information can get to all the officers, to all the people that have to be involved live. And remember, it's just a drone. But what we brought here is something unique that's saying you can control this system from any place to any place in the world. So thank you very much. I hope you like it. شكرا كثير. فرصة سعيدة من شاني. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you very much, Ishaq, on this amazing presentation on drones. And yeah, it's very interesting to see how you can control it from this far away. Next, I would like to introduce Her Excellency Maria Camilleri Kalea, and she's the ambassador of Malta to the UAE. She's the first woman to be representing her country in the GCC. Maria, please join us on stage. She will be discussing the latest developments between the UAE and Malta.
Thank you very much. Your Highness, Sheikh Sakhar bin Mohammed Al-Qasimi, Your Highness Sheikha Jawahir Al-Khalifa, Your Excellency, Chairman and CEO Adnan Al-Nourani, Excellencies and distinguished guests. I would like to start by thanking His Highness and His Excellency for their most gracious invitation to bring Malta to this very auspicious event today to discuss what we want the future to look like. 2 days ago, Malta launched its annual budget for 2022 with the title, "The Malta That We Want for Our Children." That is exactly why the future is now. How many times have we heard the mantra, "We're all in it together"? Countless times. Yes, we are. But are we really? The reality is different for different countries. In this couple of minutes, I will condense what the reality looks like for small states like Malta and relatively small states like the United Arab Emirates. Emerging from humble beginnings, both countries sought to punch above their weight. For Malta, like the United Arab Emirates, the challenges were multiple. Water, shelter, the climate, food scarcity, extreme summer temperatures. When in 1530, Emperor Charles V of Spain donated the islands of Malta to the Knights Hospitallers to make it their home, the Knights commissioned a study and sent scouts to write a report about life on the islands. The report stated, "The islands are very small, there is hardly any water, and very little agriculture to speak about, enough for the few inhabitants on the island." Therefore, the first impression was that Malta was a rock in the middle of nowhere, much like many have thought that the UAE is just a desert land. If you were to go to Malta today, you would think the report was false. But alas, it was not. What you see today and what cultural heritage adorns the Maltese islands is the result of innovation, creativity, vision of the future. This is how Malta survived. Small states need vision and visionaries, innovation and innovators, as much as any other in the world. Because the richness of our two countries is in fact the human capital. And that is why empowerment is a very important element for the development and cohesiveness of countries and economies. The pandemic, which has quite literally catapulted the entire planet, including Malta and the UAE, into what Aldous Huxley in 1932 called a brave new world, presenting humanity with the challenges of thinking outside the box and the opportunities to divert the course of pre-COVID way of doing things. Never very tangibly, and in many ways, without exaggerating the point, for innovation and technology, COVID may have been a watershed moment. We have seen how digitization has become key to resilience and to survival itself, and spurred productivity, commanding the global supply chain. In a small island like Malta, digitization plays an important role in water and food security, financial services, business transparency, advanced manufacturing, healthcare provision 24/7, connectivity for tourism and for business, and the mix of energy resources, including renewables. Like the UAE, Malta is an ideal testbed, a microcosm of cultures in a very small and accessible place. Malta's tried and tested vaccination program, which reaches out to the people, fully vaccinated already 82% of the island's population in less than 5 months, permitting the reopening of the majority of structures and this projecting of a GDP growth of approximately 5% every year in the 3 coming years, with a strong rebound of 5.9% economic growth in 2021 alone, as a country emerging from the pandemic. Much like the UAE, the thirst for work and success spurs a quest for research and development, and therefore innovation comes second nature, buttressed by a highly diversified infrastructure and new investments such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, health tech, etc. I will not bother you with too many facts and figures. I ask you to talk to us. We want to get to know you. Malta wants to work with the UAE. It is very clear from my experience in this country that the UAE wants to work with Malta. It is therefore an honor and a privilege to see my country, a small island state right at the very heart of the Mediterranean Sea, walk with so many illustrious minds today and in the digital innovation industry. Because it is in fact not the size of the country that counts, but the size of the idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think most of us need to visit Malta sometime soon as well. It's a very beautiful country. Next, we are talking about I think, a topic that everybody is interested about in the UAE. Just let me know by show of hands how many of you do have a property here in the Dubai or the UAE in general. Okay. And for those visiting us from outside, how many of you is interested in investing or buying a property for himself in the UAE? All right. So today we are talking about the innovation in the real estate. So when we talk Dubai in general, everything is here innovative. And the real estate is one of these sectors that has innovated a lot since I came like 15 years ago. Thanks to all the leadership. And today we do have also a very special guest, His Excellency Majid Saqr Al-Mirri, the CEO of Dubai Land Department. He will take us through the latest innovations, and he will be in conversation with Faisal Al-Sijwani. So I would like to call you again on stage, Faisal, and please join me in welcoming His Excellency Majid Saqr Al-Mirri.
Majid Al-Mirri, CEO of Real Estate Regulation and Services at Dubai Land Department. It's a pleasure having you here today. I welcome you, and if we can start with some question from the audience.
Yeah, مرحبا Faisal. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank His Highness Sheikh Saqr Mohammed Al-Qasimi for this invitation and this great event. And I can see with the Hussein question that there is a good number of owners in Dubai real estate market. So let me ask you a question. Are you using the Dubai REST application? This is one of our leading application in the real estate sector. So who's using the application? Can you raise your hand? I want to see. Okay, I think there is a good number, but our visitors from the 30 countries here at this event, I will introduce you to one of our great application. So we can see, start with the video first, please.
Innovative and global real estate environment, facilitating comfort, peace of mind, and happiness. Whether you're a property owner, tenant, investor, developer, or broker, you can now access DLD's services at your fingertips without leaving the comfort of your home, convenience of your office, or the atmosphere of your favorite coffee shop. The Dubai REST application enables property owners to access their properties through a real estate wallet that provides them with information about the market prices of their properties, return on investments, and maintenance charges. No matter how far you are from your property, Dubai REST enables both property owners and tenants to manage their real estate transactions, register, renew, or cancel Ijari contracts, submit rental dispute cases, and follow up on them. Dubai REST also offers you the option to sell and buy properties with just a few taps via Nukudi, Dubai REST's official payment gateway. Simply download the Dubai REST application, log in, and manage your properties. Validate your e-cards, check the status of your request, or search for a broker anywhere and anytime. Dubai REST, your property at your fingertips.
As you can see with this informative video for our leading application, it have more than 100 plus services. So it will help the owners, tenant, investors, and it will act like a wallet. You can check your property and apply for any service such as evaluation, requesting for a map, and you can check the property report as well. So this application is an initiative from the 10X earlier by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum, Crown Prince, Chairman of the Executive Council, and it's one of the leading application in the real estate market.
Thank you for sharing that, Majid. And to start off with the first fiery question, as CEO, can you tell us more about the real estate regulation and services sector at the Dubai Land Department?
Faisal, you know that we have around 25 service centers across Dubai, from the registration trustees to the real estate services. It's all over Dubai. You can, they are providing more than 70 real estate services. You can go there to finish a sale transaction. You can apply for evaluation. Although we are moving now to the digital market. Plus, you can have, we have the survey department. The survey department is providing, they are surveying and working closely with the developer to check the completion of the project around.
Interesting. Just to touch upon the note that we looked at quite a few hands of people who actually have the applications. Yes. Do you have any rough estimates of what is the exposure when it comes to, or the awareness of people having and downloading these applications?
I mean, during the pandemic and the lockdown, we have a huge number of people who downloaded this application from our App Store and Google Pay. You know, during the pandemic, we went 100% digital. We invested heavily in the services, digital services. That's why we are able to go 100% digital. And our application helped us to provide all the services during that time.
What a great initiative towards digitalization. For the next question, what are the current innovations that have been implemented by the Dubai Land Department for the real estate sector?
Mm-hmm. You know, last year we introduced the smart evaluation system. It's a system working on AI technology, analyzing millions of data, and we are able to speed the process of evaluation and issue the evaluation certificate in just a second, not minutes. It used to take days, and if you apply for that, now it will take you seconds.
Very impressive indeed. Process is taking in seconds. I'm pretty sure that comes back with amazing feedback from your clients.
Later on, we will have also a video and about the evaluation, smart evaluation, and you can learn more about it as well.
All right, so stay tuned for the video. And for the third question, so moving forward, what future innovations would Dubai Real Estate see from the Dubai Land Department?
Yeah, Dubai Land Department will continue to build on the momentum. We have a great year. During the first 9 months of this year, we have around 100 billion worth of sale. Okay, so also during the pandemic, I want to say we have good numbers. So if we compare these numbers with 2021, we have a good number of increase this year. During the pandemic, in 3 months, we did 20 billion worth of a transaction and 100,000 electronic transaction as well.
All right, so to follow up with this question, it's been quite a dynamic year with the COVID-19 hitting the real estate industry. So what can we expect in 2022? And what new trends does DLD anticipate we will witness in the real estate market?
Yeah, we will continue, as I mentioned, on the momentum, and we will introduce new initiatives in 2022. One of the greatest things that we introduced during the pandemic and under the direction of His Excellency Sultan Bati, Director General of Dubai Land Department, we introduced the remote transfer. So everywhere in the world it's closed, the airports are closed. So second day in Dubai, business as usual. We did not stop the transaction during that period. And this was one of the successful initiatives in that time.
So we have been discussing during our talks about tokenization, and I'm pretty sure that the audience would like to hear what does DLD have in the agenda in the future for tokenization of properties.
Yeah, tokenization is a great thing. We are looking to that, and it's in our plans. We have something similar we implemented in land department. It's called the fractional title deed. The fractional title deed is basically we divide the property into four shares, minimum 2 or maximum 4. And going forward, we will be having something in tokenization, of course. And since we are 100% digital, especially in 2022.
Thank you very much for the nice insight. And if we can have the final video.
Yes.
Dubai has an international reputation for its dynamic real estate sector. At Dubai Land Department, we keep innovating to enhance the experience of investors and owners. Providing an instant, reliable and robust property valuation service is one of the very first steps of the experience. Previously, you would apply for the procedure in person or through an application. The valuation request would be audited, and in some cases, photos and a survey of the property might be required before the request is sent on to the valuation committee. Once the valuation is complete, the auditor can issue the valuation certificate and send it to the front desk for printing. Finally, the certificate was sent to the customer by courier. This system was not only time-consuming, but documents could be duplicated or misplaced. Key property information might be missing, and the committee might have different perspectives on the valuation, all of which could lead to more delays and frustration for the customer. That's why Dubai Land Department have partnered with Crayon, the global leaders in machine learning technologies, to pioneer a new valuation system that is fast, easy and accurate. At the heart of the Smart Valuation Service is an advanced AI model that analyses millions of transactions based on your property type and neighbourhood to quickly and accurately generate a valuation. Through our smart application process, you apply for a valuation online or in person through any of our service centres. There's no need to wait for an audit, no need for photos or a survey of the property, or for the valuation committee to meet. And as the certificate is delivered electronically, there's no need to wait for a courier. With greater efficiency at every stage of the process, you'll receive your valuation in seconds, not days or weeks. Crayon's highly advanced AI model means you can rest assured that your valuation will be accurate and reliable. And it's no surprise our new service is achieving record levels of customer satisfaction. So if you need a fast, easy and accurate valuation for your property, visit Dubai Land Department today.
Thank you very much, Majid Al-Magri, for this marvelous discussion. And for the audience, if anyone would like to have any questions, you can visit the booth of Dubai Land Department upstairs, and Mr. Majid will be more than happy to answer those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Majid and Faisal. I believe Dubai never stops surprising us, and even in the Dubai Lands Department with all these great achievements for the past several years. But let's see as well from the digital side and telecom side. What is Etisalat Digital UAE doing when it comes to innovating trade finance and using the blockchain technology? So, Zulfiqar Jaweed, he's the CEO of UAE Trade Connect at Etisalat Digital. He will take us through a tour on the latest innovative trade finance solutions from Etisalat Digital. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to Zulqarnain Jaweed.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, it's good to be here at the Future Innovation Summit. It's a big event, a wonderful venue, excellent crowd. So, Etisalat, can we get the presentation up on the screen? Etisalat is one of the main innovators in the country. As you know, we have the fastest network on the planet, and we've been deploying 5G faster than anybody else relative to the size of the country. But at the same time, I'd like to draw your attention to Etisalat Digital, because this is where all the digital innovation happens in this country. So what we're doing is we are building a smarter today rather than a smarter tomorrow. How do we do that? So we focused our attention on 5 or 6 key pillars. We have digital security, which is to protect the data that lives in our networks. We have IoT, Internet of Things, because we have one of the strongest networks in the world. IoT and international artificial intelligence goes together. Omnichannel is the way that we are helping to define digital marketing. We'd like to get all of the enterprises in the country to communicate through omnichannel with citizens, customers, and buyers. We've got a big cloud presence. We are the largest operator of data centers in the country. And we also operate several digital industries. So we're all about digitizing health, we're about digitizing defense, digitizing smart cities, and digitizing e-government. And the thing I'm going to talk to you about today is blockchain technology. Etisalat Digital is investing in blockchain technology primarily through this company, which I'm the CEO of, called UAE Trade Connect. UAE Trade Connect is a very interesting solution which has blockchain at the heart of it. And we've partnered with a number of banks. We're serving the banking community, and ultimately we're helping the wider economy by improving access to finance. More about that later. Let's talk about how we got here. So the industry, which is made up of about 40 banks in the UAE, we have 7 of these banks who came together along with Etisalat to solve a problem. Working together under a banner called co-creation, we started this project in 2018 when blockchain wasn't really that much talked about. During the course of 2019, we formed a formal consortium, and we started to test ideas. We started to do proof of concept. By 2020, the proof had worked. We were able to say that we have a solution that we can scale up. At that point in time, the Central Bank of the UAE also joined the consortium. They joined the steering committee, and they began to help us with ensuring that we'd be compliant with regulations. By the time we ended 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, this became one of the key digital solutions for banks. And by 2021, in April, in early Ramadan, we launched services publicly. Now, we don't serve end customers. We serve the banks. The banks use our platform to serve business customers. So let's take a minute and see how it works. How does the blockchain actually work to protect banks? We need sound. Can we get sound, please?
Here is how the solution works for any new financing request. Number 1. Bank A sends invoice information into the private permissioned blockchain network through their node. Number 2. This information is replicated into Etisalat node using smart contracts. Number 3. The invoice information is pushed into the fraud investigation engine hosted at Etisalat, which will perform duplicate and fraudulent invoice checks. Number 4. Based on the engine's checks, Bank A will be notified as follows. A. Pass. No issues identified, or B. Fail. Major issues identified, do not proceed. Or C, inspect. Bank's further investigation is required. Number 5, final action taken by the bank in respect to financing of the invoice is stamped on the blockchain network. UAE Trade Connect converts physical data into digital data using OCR, bots, and distributed ledger technology. Manual controls currently adopted by banks will be performed by the solution using machine learning technology. The solution will be hosted by Etisalat, and the information shared on the blockchain network will reside in Etisalat's cloud servers in UAE. Banks' confidential information will remain protected throughout the solution, as their data will not be shared with any other bank in the chain. UAE Trade Connect benefits both banks and also their clients. It renews confidence of banks to finance corporates and SMEs. Reduced fraudulent trade saves banks from financial losses. Banks can operate and exchange information in a trusted marketplace. We welcome banks to be part of this new ecosystem aimed at digitizing documentary trade. UAE Trade Connect, a platform developed by banks for banks.
Yeah, so I think you get an idea here that technology is supporting us so that we can support banks. Now, a very important statement that came out of this when we launched 6 months ago came from Dr. Sabri Al-Azizi, who made it very clear that he saw this platform as one of the ways that we are digitizing the trade space, and he sees all of the value of that. The whole idea is to have the whole banking sector modernize the way it operates. And they're using solutions like ours on a trust basis, on a collaboration basis, to move the ball forward. I'd like to just highlight these last few words because this is really what today is about here at the Innovation Summit. To prepare the UAE to enter the new digital banking era. I mean, the banks in this country are great. They've already digitized so much of the consumer space, but let's do the same for the business space. If you're a small business, or if you're a large business, how you access funding from the banks is being digitized. How we de-risk is being digitized. So moving ahead, let's talk about how the platform will move forward. The adoption of the platform has been incredible. In 6 months alone, we can see the curve coming through the platform. We have 7 banks operating, and all of them are using the platform more and more each month. The system is doing its job. We have managed to find, in the month of September, for example, 15 cases of duplicate financing. The same invoices were presented to the system over and over again. This has helped us to identify for the banks where the problems arise, and they've been able to go back and look at their processes or their borrowers to consider whether those risks are real or whether they need to readjust the lending. Moving ahead, how is the platform going to evolve? So if we look at the platform today, we're using all of these technologies, bots, AI, blockchain, and cloud, to serve these 7 banks. What's going to happen in the future is we're going to start to see more and more technology coming into the platform. We've already got 8 more banks who are signed up to trial the platform, so we should reach 15 banks by the end of the year. We have help from government bodies, some of which are represented here today. So for example, some of the ports authorities, some of the customs authorities in the UAE would like to come onto the platform, which will help us to digitize the trade further. We are working closely with DP World. And of course, non-banking finance institutions who are also lenders in the space would like to get onto the platform. Ultimately, we, as one of the leading operators in the world, will start to link up with other networks that provide similar services. So there's some companies in Singapore, Hong Kong, Ireland, Switzerland, which provide similar services. And what we intend to do is to link up our platform with theirs. So even though we're only 6 months old in live services, we're already thinking about the future. And we've already plotted out how we want to grow. So to finish off, I'll just present one more video, which will just explain the solution, and finally tell you where we're heading in the future. Sound? Can we get sound, please?
Introducing UAE Trade Connect, an award-winning, consortium-led, first-of-its-kind national trade platform in the UAE featuring cutting-edge technology based on blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and OCR technologies. The first use case offered on the platform is fraud detection identification of duplicate invoices financed by banks as part of their trade finance offering. Traditionally, privacy regulations as well as interbank competition has prevented sharing of information, thus exposing lenders to the possibility of duplicate and overfinancing. This blind spot led to risk-averse policies with a consequence of limited access to financing for SMEs. With the advent of distributed ledger technology, we are able to solve this problem, allowing duplicate invoice detection and fraud analysis without actually allowing any member of the network to see other members' data. This unique solution has been co-created by Etisalat, Avanza, and a consortium of UAE banks. Our consortium includes 7 of the leading banks in the UAE. The steering committee included Central Bank as member who were keen to ensure compliance with regulations while furthering the goal of improved access to funding for SMEs. UAE Trade Connect went live in April 2021, and our widespread success was first recognized at FinTech Abu Dhabi, where we were awarded the FinTech Partnership of the Year, and recently also won the Outstanding Innovation in Trade Finance Award by Global Finance magazine. As we continue to explore the banking and trade finance spectrum, our innovative co-creation approach is leading the way in digitizing documentary trade. Thus, our organic evolution includes port and trade documentation exchange, e-bills of lading, letters of credit, bank guarantees, and eKYC, while growing into a marketplace that connects lenders and borrowers, facilitating easy and instant financing for domestic and cross-border trade. We at UAE Trade Connect are digitizing trade in one of the world's most important trading hubs. Are you ready? UAE Trade Connect, built by the banks, for the banks.
So, once again, looking forward, even more innovation to come. So we're really proud. We're really proud of what Etisalat Digital has done with this system. We're really proud of the way that our partners have worked closely with us. You know, honestly, to get Fab and Mashrik and ENBD to sit at the same table, normally they're competing with each other. But to sit at the same table and define common goals and then deliver on those goals, this is how innovation happens. You need partnerships, and we've developed those partnerships, and we intend to do more in the future. So I'm really excited about what we intend to do, and we hope you'll be there for the journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And of course, Etisalat is one of the leading companies when it comes to the innovation as well. So this will be my last announcement, and then I will hand over to Ron Williams. I will let him introduce himself when he comes to stage. But before that, I think all of us need some dosage of adrenaline. I believe that, yeah, after like 4 or 5 hours, you'll be tired. And for this reason, we're bringing you now the networking mastery coach, serial entrepreneur, and a passionate accelerator of people who has spoken at more than 1,000 international events. And he shared the stage with leaders like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, and Alan Peace, among others. So please put your hand together to Gil Peterson.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So you've had a lot of content today. And some of this content is a little bit tiring for our mind. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to do me one little favor and stand up for just one moment. That's okay. His Excellency and all the distinguished guests, just for one moment, stand up. We're going to try to do a little exercise that works quite well. Now, if you're not standing, I get it. It's difficult to stand up sometimes. We have a laptop on our hands. We have a phone. It's very, very heavy. And for just 1 minute before I start, I'm going to give you a little networking hack that really helps people to connect. As a serial entrepreneur and as an introvert from a very young age, as an immigrant since the age of 10, I've had to learn languages. English is not my first language, it's my third. I've had to learn how to connect with people, and I found it as a really easy way to connect with people without saying any words. So I'd like to give you just a minute of the precious time that they've given me in order to serve you in the easiest way possible. In this 1 minute, I'd like to ask you to try your best to not look at your phone and also not say one word to anyone around you. But in that 1 minute, I'd like to ask you to look around the room and look at different people around you and try in your mind only to give them a compliment. Thank them for being here at this event. Thank them for showing up on time. Thank them for still being here to actually add value to this event, add value to the mission of the event. Add value to what you and your team are trying to do right here to make a big difference in this beautiful country. So I'm going to give you just 1 minute. In that 1 minute, you can look different people around the room. Don't sit down. No, you don't have to say hi or this. No need. You can just look around the room and in your mind, see if you can give other people a compliment just for being here and for standing somewhere near you. So just 1 minute, look around the room and give people a compliment in your mind. No words. No words. Shh, in your mind. How did that feel? What did you guys feel? I'm going to calm down if that's okay. How did you feel? What happened? Just 1 minute. Come on, what happened? Energy, okay, what else? Connection, all right, what else? Smiles, wow, that's good, you know? People don't usually smile at these events. They stay and sit there so seriously, half on the phone, half listening. What else happened? Attitude. Attitude suddenly lifted up a little bit and suddenly you looked for people around you. You appreciated that the most important people at this event are sitting somewhere around you. They're not necessarily on stage. I'm not here to tell you that I'm important. I'm here to say to you that the people next to you, that person that's sitting next to you right now that you haven't said hello to, that might be the most important person in your life today. And there's a reason why somehow you picked that seat. Now, if the person next to you is your mother, sister, or husband, maybe that's not the one. They're already important. I'm talking about that other person that's sitting on the other side that you haven't met yet. So grab your seats and give me your attention for just a few minutes because I'd like to tell you what I've learned through many successful failures around the world. As a serial entrepreneur for many years, I've understood that my education was not enough to help me be successful. I've understood that failing out of 3 high schools and not ever attending university, but only joining universities as a professor has helped me understand that it's the people that I meet in my life that are going to help me innovate. They'll help me raise money for startups. They'll help me leave one country and change to another country. I've lived in 6 different countries in every single year of my life. I've been trying to see if I can get younger. Just recently, I decided with my family when COVID hit that a better place for us to live was not Singapore, where was our home before, but Bali. And when we moved to Bali, I came into a new country with 0 connections whatsoever. But what I knew I could do is I can merge ecosystems. I knew I can come in with my connections and help them understand what value can I bring. I knew I could show up and understand that the network that I've built in my life, I know can add value to these new people that I've just met. And I started practicing this at a very young age because at a young age where I spoke just one language, I spoke Hebrew. I am from Israel originally. And when I showed up in Canada at the age of 10 with my family, I understood that people in this country didn't speak my language. I had to learn how to network with them, not knowing what networking really meant. When I moved from Canada to England at the age of 20, again, before social media, I had to learn again how to merge ecosystems. How do I show up in a business club and present myself? How do I show up at a right investor conference and present a startup that I had? And every single time a corporation like a KPMG or a large bank in the world came to me and said, Gil, We're looking to merge ecosystems with other corporations around the world. The same methodology had to be applied. How do you build that first connection? How do you serve? How do you come in peace, not come to transact? The same thing I've been doing over the last few years with different governments around the world that come to me and say, well, we'd like to build a relationship with these 3 governments. Let's work out a strategy. And for me, the strategy is very simple. It's not about the budgets, and it's not about the infrastructure. It's about the people and the strategy we give them in order to connect with other people. So in the next few minutes, I'd like to just walk you through some ideas, some methodology, something for you to think about so that today during lunch, you don't sit with the people you showed up at. You don't sit at a table by yourself and you leave your phone for just one day. Because I know how hard it was to put together this event. I know how many events are happening today right now in Dubai, and the fact that you chose to be here, in my opinion, and from my experience, is a lot more important than you can imagine. Because you came here maybe with a vision, maybe with some goals to connect with some people, maybe you wanted to be inspired. But what you actually came here to do is to network. Now I know that some people think that networking is just exchanging cards, but networking is a lot deeper than that. In my experience, networking has helped me understand that success is what people want. But what is success to me and what is success to you is 2 different things. Success to many is being healthy. I love that I've learned about biohacking, and in the last 2 years, I got younger by 5 years. Literally, I am 42 years by age, but my organs have told all the tests that I'm 34. And that's really, really cool to understand that you could do that with your body, which is a network, and you could do the same thing with a network outside. Success to some people means that you have nice cars and you have a big home. Success to me meant having 3 awesome kids that I could spend time with. Success to a lot of people just means freedom. But when you start looking at success, to me success has been finding the teachers in my life. As I mentioned before, I failed out of multiple high schools, so teachers in school were not my favorite people. In college, I didn't really do well because, again, I couldn't connect. But I understood that I can find teachers in my life by finding ways of serving them. 7 years ago, when I wanted to step out of my shell and become a public speaker, it was a really challenging time for me because 8 years ago, doing this would be the last thing on my mind. Speaking in front of 10 people was nervous enough for me. But when I understood that public speaking is something I want to step into, I started to identify the greatest teachers in the world that I can serve. I identified people that I can make a difference in their lives, and by doing that, I can spend time with them. These are not just pictures of people that I just took a selfie with. These are people that I spent a lot of time with. I spent time with them because I knew that if I merge my network with their network, we can add more value to our customers. I knew that I can make a difference in the life of billionaires, not because I am rich, because I am wealthy. I am wealthy with a network of people that can make a difference in the world. And when I started looking at success, for different people, success means you are on the cover of magazines. And success means magazines want to write about you. Success means you have an amazing family and you've written books and you've spoken at events. But success to me at this moment of life means that I have the people around me that I'm willing to serve because they are doing something great for the world and they are serving. That is what success means to me today. I understand that the network that I had around me last year had to change because my life changed. Until beginning of this year, I've never been to Dubai. But because I'm in Dubai now, my network has consistently grown and developed here. The fact that I'm here today is because I've had the pleasure of meeting this beautiful man and his whole team, and everything they're doing in this country really inspired me. So I chose to fly in and leave my family to make a difference for you because maybe just one person in this room needs to hear this today. And what I'm constantly learning, that networking has been misunderstood by most people. Most people think it's showing up at the lunch break and just exchanging cards. They don't understand the networking vibrations that are going through you. The frequencies that we have when we network with people, which is why many people love plants in their home and they love animals as well. There's frequencies that go within you, which means your team and the way you manage your team meeting can completely transform your company if you understand that all I need to do is help my team network. You can help people build trust within minutes if you understand the depth of actual networking itself. And unfortunately today, if you look on Google and you type networking, it only focuses on IT. Type human networking. and see what you could learn about human networking and how we should actually be looking at things. I've been taking a pleasure for the last 5, 6 years going very, very deep to understand how we're truly networking, how we are a tool for other people. I've understood many things in my life, but the one thing I know for certain is that I'm here to serve. I'm here to make a difference in people's lives, and my journey in life is to look for the most outstanding people in the world and find my place to serve them. And by doing that, I'm having some really good karma in my life because I'm serving some amazing people who are doing good things. By doing that, I'm making incredible friendships. By doing that, every single time I need money, money shows up from everywhere. By doing that, I get invited to incredible events where people like yourself are making a difference in the world, and they need networking tools within the teams. They need to understand what strategic partnerships really mean. They need to understand the level of collaboration and partnerships that they need in the business. They don't need budgets. They need to have a mindset and a team that wants to collaborate, not transact. So networking, if you're looking at it, is a lot more complex. There's a lot of depth to understanding the way we network online, the way we brand ourselves, the way we look at connections, and the way we look at how connections are making a difference in our lives today. I look for potential when I see people. I don't look for value. I look for potential because most people don't communicate what value they can offer right away. Most people just tell you what they do. They don't tell you why they do what they do. Most people want to connect with you, so they talk about themselves instead of listening to what it is that you do. A lot of people out there, we have a volume for that? Do we have volume? Let me quickly let you know what that is about adding value and looking for potential. A little video that made a big difference in my life when I saw it the first time, and understanding that when we meet people the first time, we'd always understand how this person potentially changed our lives. And this is something I've learned many, many years ago. So every single time I meet a human being, I really see them as an angel in my life. I see that somehow they've been brought into my life for a reason, and I need to listen to them and give them respect and see if I can add value and if I can serve them, if I can just pay attention and see potential. So this little video really inspired me, but it will inspire you as well. There, because you can't read the English subtitles. Guys, can we put the videos there as well? Subtitles up behind the chairs. She asked him if he stole something, and he said it's for his mom. This man just asked for some soup to give to his mom with the medicine he paid for it himself.
Này là gấp này. จัดไปสั่งมาเร็วต่ออะไร
All expenses paid 30 years ago. Those of you who cannot read in the back. 3 packs of painkillers. And a bag of veggie soup. walking upstairs in the expo itself, every single company and the university student that I saw, I congratulated them. And I thanked them for making a difference in the world today. Because I know that one day that person will be in the cover of Forbes magazine, and I'll be very, very honored that I met them at this event. Every single time I see a human being, I know that somehow they came into my life for a reason, but I don't really know why. So that little exercise you did with compliments is more important than you can imagine. When you give someone money, their brain activates in very, very specific ways. That is the exact same way when you compliment them, non-verbally, without saying any words. Our brains are very, very complex, but actually very simple, and you can learn how to turn them on, how to get them activated, how to get people interested in you by just being kind to them in your mind. There's a few other tricks of doing things in life better when it comes to networking. Asking people questions is one of the most wonderful ways of connecting. Journalists learn how to ask people questions. Any journalists in the room? Oh yeah, a few people. You actually studied in school how to ask people questions. For some reason, in schools, most of us have not been allowed to ask questions. We've been given books and say, study this. We've not been allowed to open up our mind to what is possible. And instead of asking people, why do you do what you do? We just ask them, what do you do? Questions that I believe we should be asking ourselves a lot more is, how can I grow? How can I give more to the world? Who am I grateful for is one of the greatest questions you can ask yourself every single day before you go to sleep. If you want to sleep like a baby at night, feeling so good with great dreams, the last thoughts you have before you go to sleep is not checking your phone on Instagram and Facebook to see what the world is doing. Ask yourself, what has just happened in my world today? And one of the greatest thoughts you can have in your mind is going through every single person that you've met today and you've interacted with them, and say to yourself, why am I grateful for this person today? When I meet a person, the first things that comes to my mind is, why is this an incredible human being, and why can I be grateful for them in this moment that I have met with them? Questions that help you understand how to celebrate also allows you to turn on your curious mindset. When you are curious, you want to know more about a person. You don't speak so much about yourself. When you are curious, you activate abilities in yourself to allow someone else to shine, to allow someone else to have the spotlight on them. For me personally, understanding that curiosity complements, activate everything in me, it also allows me to build strategic partnerships. It allows me to understand that even in all the movies, we've been taught the importance of mentors, the importance of strategic partnerships, and all of Hollywood. I have been taught I will not be able to do it by myself unless I had someone by me, unless we had a great leader that supports us to go in a specific direction. If Dubai didn't have incredible leaders, Dubai would not be where it is today. The UAE would not be where it is today unless great leaders said, we're going to go in this direction. Who's coming with me? And to me, this is the exact same thing with our business, which is why I find it very strange when people don't speak enough about their goals, but they speak more about their achievements. They don't speak about their dreams, but they speak about what it is that they do today. Consider today during your breaks to speak about your goals and dreams, because that is the number one glue that human beings have together. Don't tell them what you do today. Tell them what you're planning to do before the end of the year. Don't tell them what you've achieved. Tell them what you'll do for Dubai, what you do for the UAE, what you're going to do for the world before the end of your life. That gets people excited. It glues them to you in a very beautiful way. People don't always think about how they can give first. Giving makes it a lot easier in life. Strategic partnerships is understanding that you don't always have to exchange money to make magic happen. All of these organizations didn't exchange money to have great value offered to their clients. All they did is they said, let's partner up together and we could serve our audience in a better way. If we partnered up, the world will get to see us and the way we'd like to be seen. So consider today, who do you want to partner up with? Before you leave your room, make a mental note, make a little note on your phone. Who do I want to meet today that I can add value to? Who are those organizations that I want to partner up with, not those clients that I want to have? And if you do that, talk to them about their dreams. Consider to be an energy magnet. Energy magnets are people that are willing to put their coffee down and phone down and speak with their bodies. Please don't hold a cup of coffee in your phone in your hand when talking to people, because you're about to box with them. Please have your hands free and allow your body to express emotion, express how you feel, because that's how you connect with another human being. Remember that one person you're going to speak to today has the potential of completely changing your life. Consider your networking priorities, please. Don't sit down next to someone you've met for the last 10 years and you know them and you're just catching up with them. Consider priorities of talking to new people today, because you showed up at this event and the team here has worked so hard to bring some of the greatest minds and hearts together to this event. So consider that your objective should be to meet some new people. Maybe if it's just one, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, and then follow up with them later on. Because following up is never too late to do. There are so many ways of following up with people. Just ask them for coffee, invite them to the next event, connect with them anywhere online or offline. Allow them to share what it is that they have as a dream, how it is that they can serve you or your clients. My name is Gil Peterson. I'd love to find a way to connect with all of you some point today. I'm the only Gil Peterson on Google, so if you want to connect with me, it's very, very easy. I look forward to finding a way to serve you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. That video that you showed, I've seen that about 3, 4 times. And each time I see it, something comes up. Very powerful. Takeaway from that is that you never know where it's going to come from. And you be kind to people as much as you possibly can. So, our next speaker that we are honored to have to give us a United Nations addressing speech, Anigal Sarikthi will be speaking. Can you come to the stage now? Thank you.
Благодарю. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you so much for founders, for organizers and investors of this amazing summit. And I'm really proud to introduce myself and my organization here. And my name is Aynagul Serikkuzu. I am from Kazakhstan and I'm representative of Union of Medical Technical Academies of which is based in Russia, but we are working in such kind of organizations like United Nations Organization, like World Health Organizations, UNICEF, USAID, and other global organizations in the world. And let me also to make a couple of the sentences in Russian language, because this summit is international, and I think that is Russian sentences will be here. It also can give us some effect. Здравствуйте, я хочу поблагодарить прежде всего организацию инвесторов этого саммита, и благодарю за то, что вы участвуете здесь, и разрешите мне начать свою речь. Благодарю. For understanding how the pandemic affected all of us in the world, let's to go for the 300 years ago. So when the pandemic lockdown started 2 years ago in the world, we just felt that we become to be like a children. Not just people, even the countries, they understood how the system is weak, really weak. Why? Because when it's no education face-to-face, when you cannot fly to somewhere, and you are just sitting at home, and if the internet is broken, so it's looking like your world is also broken. So that's why when I got a task from the organizers of this summit that necessary to explain the effect of pandemic and technology, medicine, and education before pandemic and after pandemic. I just decided to go through history of our organization, and it will show that now we have a really ability to create the new world with the new conditions, because the world before pandemic and after pandemic, it's really different. So I'm just waiting when the website will be on the ecran. And I'm just doing some improvisation. And I think that it's very important and really affect that after pandemic, when the conditions of the world is changed, United Arabic countries is the first country who's started with this innovation summit and who is explaining these new technologies with the conditions of the pandemic. Okay, let's maybe start to explain about So let me start to my theory before the website is coming on the ecran. After when Soviet Union is collapsed, our organization was invited to United Nations Organization as a designer and creator of the new standard system of the drinking water. And this project was declared in 2008, and we are already started in that time understood that in future we will have problems with the drinking water, with the earth sources. And it showed to us that mostly important item when we are realizing some project, it's ecology. The president of Academy, he is in the same time head advisor of president of European Parliament of Ecology Committee. And as you see on the ecran, it's showing that Academy has a global structure. And please, could you go to the English and history of Academy? History, no, 1.2. No, on the right side, on the yellow. No, right side. History with the, yes. Thank you so much. So this academy was created in 1724, which is almost 300 years ago. And it was created on the time as Peter I by Ovner, private doctor for that time. Could you go for the second page, please? As you see the dates, it's 1724. And in that period, the most important scientists people, they become to be as members of this imperial academic, which was luxury status in that time. And maybe you can understand from the photos that it's Lomonosov, Razumovsky, and another famous scientists people. Dmitry Mendeleev, he is creator of the Tableau Mendeleev, which is all elements. And yes, please, could you go down? Of course, after the imperial was broken in period of Lenin, Stalin, and Khrushchev, it's explaining all the discoveries of that time. Please, could you stop here? Yes, thank you. So, and we have trials of the USSR Academy, and this union was created on the base of archive of USSR of scientists academies. And as you can see, this shuttle with the solar models, and it's showing that in that time, it's approximately 1950s years, already was created closed system with the creating, accumulating, and using of the energy. And because for now, it's like a green energy solar models, very popular, we have oldest technologies in the world, I think. And yes, please, Shuttle Buran, a little bit up. Yes, no, down, pardon, down. And Shuttle Buran, the cover of the Shuttle Buran was created with the technology with a calling called plasma. And now, the president of Academy, he is owner of this technology, and he, of course, not just his, they decided, just stop please, and as a committee of Academy, they decided to transfer this technology for the laser equipment treatment and physiotherapy equipments and such kind of technology like hydro laser douche. It's giving to the people to have a easy adaptation period after cancer treatment, and like a therapy for the people who hasn't any diseases. So it's a hydro laser douche. It's some type of the technology which is working and with laser and with water. And it's a special technologies, and please, yes, go down again. Of course, when the Soviet Union was collapsed, and we had a lot of other trial technologies and methodologies in science, like physics, chemia, and another medicine stuffs. And in the Union, we have 7 institutes which is working with fundamental scientists. So it's like Institute of the Blood, of DNA, with some things of energy, which is now very popular. And of course, the first creator of this energy, it's Nikola Tesla. And for all of these trial knowledges was accumulated on the World University. And after it, we created the fund, which is calling Roma Grant. Please, could you go down for understanding? Yeah. And this fund, Roma Grant, is situated in Italy. And yes, and this foundation, it's supporting young scientists and last technologies. Yes, thank you so much. So here you can see some projects which is calling Water 3000, Africa 3000, and these programs, Energy 3000, and these programs is accredited in United Nations organizations as official. And 3000, it's meaning like development program till 3000 year. So as you can see, Roma Grant Foundation, and here it's showing some discoveries which was priced. So again, hydro laser douche and such kind of things. Yes, thank you so much. And later on, it's members of Academy. So the principle of the work of this Academy very easy. You can do here is academical career, or you can do any business career here as a personal or as a company, as our partner or member. And now, after pandemic, we should understand that it's really starting a new time, new period of the history, which all of us will create together. And I think that it's really very effective and important now that your country is on the beginning. And I think that you are the first after pandemic in the new technologies and innovations, and we can rename the development program not like URA 2040, but like URA 3000. And we invited you to use our experience and to use with using of your skills and opportunities for creating future of the world. And thank you so much for everything.
I thought that was a cool concept. I don't understand why they got rid of it, but it probably will come back, maybe a little too soon for now. I tend to think of Google Maps. Where would we be without Google Maps? I lived in Saudi Arabia for 1.5 years. I've been in the Middle East now maybe 6 years. I lived in Saudi for 1.5 years. And to try and get someone to go from point A to point B when Google Maps was in its infancy, no street signs, no house signs. All you were depending upon were landmarks. Think of how you could travel, even here in Dubai. You just give them your phone as to where you're going to go. And I often wonder what happened before that became available. So all these things that we're talking about now, and thinking 2040, and then it was also discussed of 2071. That's almost scary to think about, 2071. Because if you just think back 20 years ago, and then we're thinking about projecting 20 years into the future. We looked at how education was able to turn on a dime, and technology was the missing factor. All of our lives now, Zoom, Teams, well, I don't want to say Skype, but you know what I mean. That's what we're grounded by. Pre-COVID, I was traveling 3 weeks out of the month. 5:15 from Dubai airport to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, Singapore, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, back here again, flip around, get back on track, and go again. Last trip was Bangkok, and I flew back here, got in on a Tuesday, and I think they closed the airport down on Thursday. And I flew home to New York this past Christmas. No more flights. And that goes to show you how our lives have changed. But one common thread to all of that has been technology enabling us to move forward. Sometimes it doesn't work as smooth as possible. As you see, we are having a little issues here, and I'm just trying to give them some time to get it straight. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, great. So we talked about augmented reality, and let's let the experts come up and talk about it. Airhead Corporation. Yeah. And we have Ivan Pazrev, who is the CIO, and we have Alexander Smagma, who is they're going to be co-presenting on this topic. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
Thank you. So let me share my vision and energy, and we'll talk today about augmented reality. So first of all, we are Airhead. So actually we are bringing augmented reality to everyone. So, and long story short, like we have a 10 years experience. We have offices in Dubai and in New York and in Moscow. And before I will share with you what we're actually doing in the region, I need to tell you the story, where the augmented reality comes from and how it works actually. So to start explaining this, let's start with a question. If technology is the answer, so what was the question? Why we need it for? Where are we actually going? And to speak about augmented reality, first of all, we need to understand the theory of the media channels. So everyone knows that everything starts with the books. Then it goes to video, like to recording, to cinema. Then it goes to like radio. So anyone want to guess what was the next channel? Like how we actually communicate with each other? What's the next channel? Any idea? TV? Or that's a good idea. Actually, that's right. That's TV, then internet. So you know, it's like a step by step. The new channel always overlaying the next one. and mobile, social media. What's the next? So what is the next way to communicate with information? And one of the answers is that information should be connected with a space. Information should go to the space. We need to access to this information. Our phones are too tiny, the screen is too small to digest all this all kind of information. So we need to observe it connected to the space. And yeah, so let's really quickly clarify. If person wearing virtual reality glasses, it's called VR, or like virtual reality, as I say. If person walking around the city and see the digital layer of the information covering the real world, let's call it AR, or augmented reality. But like, important thing, you need a phone, you need a device, you need a gadget to observe the augmented reality layer. A little bit different story, it's about mixed reality, when you see just with your eyes. So we are, in our head, believes this is the future of how we communicate with information, how we see actually the information. Really quickly, so digital dog with digital background is VR. It's like everything around you covered with digital information. Real world and the digital information on top is augmented reality. When the digital dog connected with real space, it's a mixed reality. It's just to clarify. And I promise this is the last boring slide. VR plus MixR plus AR, now you call it XR, or let's say extended reality. We also can call it phygital or kind of spatial computing. So really quickly, let's dive into a history, where actually the technology came from. Maybe you heard about the Plato, it's kind of a theory that we all just see the shadows. But actually, when we go to the background of the augmented reality itself, you can find some first notes and like a century ago, when the person his name is Frank Baum created a kind of glasses for one of his character. So through these glasses you can see the world. So everything comes from a person who can dream about how the technology will looks like. And going forward, then some industry need to apply this technology, need to use this technology in their business to see how they can implement the technology. And as I said, augmented reality is the only way where the information where the information will be displayed in the future. So moving to the next stage, like it actually needs to be implemented. So one of the first way to implement is just to show you the information when you need it. For example, it starts with a fire jet. Or when you go to a practice, one person, maybe you heard about him, he'd kind of invent smart glasses, let's say, a Google Glass. Maybe you heard about it, but most of the people react on the smart glasses was like this. So it's not really here, it's not really comfortable, so we're not want to use it right now. So, but actually, it's supposed to be bulky and no one want to use it. But now, when it's become when it have a shape of like a Ray-Ban glasses, now it's coming. Now it's time to have a glasses for everyone. And that's what we're trying to prepare with our head. We're trying to prepare a content for a future, because we all know that the market already is really big for augmented and virtual reality, and we are positioning ourselves as a part of this market. And just let's repeat, okay? So everything starts with someone who dream, you can create a story, okay, let's have a glasses for someone. Then brave scientists become pushing this technology, then money came, then another scientists help to develop this technology, then market appears, and then it goes to our customers. So we are still like 3 to 5 years from augmented reality goes to global markets, when it's will be everywhere. But already it's a good time to start developing augmented reality now. So let's continue with explanation about augmented reality. So everyone can use it right now. Yeah, for example, you have a ruler in your phone. You can check the size of the space with augmented reality, or you can check how your furniture will looks in a space, because it's kind of create a digital habit, because you can't do it in any other way. So augmented reality can helping you to communicate with objects in a space before you purchase it. Sorry. or for example, you can bring as a building in a space before you actually build it. You can present it to anyone. This is one of the projects we made a few years ago. Or one of the ways to create a digital habit is to have a navigation in a space. That's what's important for augmented reality, to give access to everyone, to give a possibility for everyone to use this technology. So yeah, actually we are, as I said, believe that this is a part of the way how to create a digital habit for augmented reality. And a market just looking for any options. How, like, can I see the food? Can I see any object? Can I see my tweets? Can I see digital art in the space? Can I see something before I actually bought it? So, but to create the real digital habit, we need to start with something which is kind of create value for you. So, for example, lots of people creating masks, but it's just fun, right? It's just to create an idea of like, okay, this is some digital information on my face. And what we believe in our heads, that's a way to start using the augmented reality. So, can you please check the next slide? Because for some reason my clicker isn't working. You can try escape and then do it again. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. So as you all know, the Facebook and other companies also trying to push augmented reality, so you can check, for example, the sunglasses before you actually want to buy it, for example. So what we are trying to implement with augmented reality, for example, we can create a speech. We can create a speech for your avatar in augmented reality, or we can display a kind of branded logotype connected with a space. And all this kind of way to implement it accessible for everyone now. So you don't need a special application. You don't need to create like a complicated infrastructure. It's now accessible for everyone just through the website, for example, or as a file. So that's what we're trying to push with augmented reality, to make it accessible, to push it in a market. Or, for example, you can see, as I said, we want to create digital habit. So imagine you came to an art gallery and you see all these amazing shapes and additional content appearing, overlaying the physical world. That's what we actually also are doing to help artists to create the understanding for all the people how to work with augmented reality. And some of the example we made with a digital artist, and one of the project we're preparing here in this region is to help to create a city as a gallery. We want to bring a digital artist and create a permanent city-scale augmented reality gallery in a region, so you can see the digital artists all around the places. And so how it actually works, imagine you see like a physical object, you see the stela or like a podium with a QR code, you came there, you use your phone, just any phone works, Android or iOS, you scan a code, you get a link, and then the content appears automatically. So no need to download anything. That's how actually it works. One of the pilot projects we're doing right now, it's my colleague Alex, and we are on Expo creating these mascots, showing the people how to see the different layer of the information covering the real world. And the last chapter, I will try to be quick. I know we have really limited time. That's in our head, we have a vision of how to use this technology in terms of like 5 to 10 years. And to understand this, I need to tell you a few things about city-scale augmented reality. City-scale augmented reality is a part of understanding how the actually digital layer will overlay the physical world. So to explain this, imagine that any of your phone can start scan the space. So we have a physical space, but to have a digital copy of the space, it's really crucial to have a city-scale augmented reality. I will show you a few examples from the presentation of the big IT companies. So, for example, here you can see the scan of the room. So, and it's not that clear directly why you need it right now, but for the future, you need the digital scan of the space to place actually the augmented reality object in a space. Or, for example, you can purchase a digital layer of the space already, and you need to be really careful with this because there are like a competition between companies who want to sell actually the digital space. And companies like Snapchat and Apple already start to push like a creation of the digital layer. For example, this is a digital map by Apple. So they have a copy of the building, they have a copy of the street. Let's say they have a digital twin of the street. This all needs to create a digital layer, to create an augmented reality layer of the city. And of course Google, I mean, that's why it's like a competition between them. So everyone wants to have a part of this. And we are, in our head, also have a technology to scan the city. This is a demo we made recently in Dubai. So we're just using two cameras, and we went through the city and create a kind of 3D copy of the building, and we also can create a 3D copy of the street. So this will help you to understand where exactly you need to place augmented reality objects. So you all need to understand that this is the only way that we'll communicate with information in the recent future. And yeah, actually that's how a part of our technology also works. So and this street we just made a kind of a scan, let's say a few months ago, and this is a part of Dubai. And yeah, this will help to place augmented reality object in a city scale. That's what our vision. And the last slide, I think I will share a project we are recently working on. It's kind of teaser for a city-scale augmented reality gallery, which will be placed in the region. So please spend a few minutes enjoying what we are currently doing in Dubai. So basically, I will explain a few words. This is a digital artist from all around the world, including digital artists from Dubai, and we are communicating with them and help them to present their object in a real space. We are helping to create a city-scale digital gallery with augmented reality objects. Of course, they can be connected with smart contracts, with let's say NFT. But the key way we want to push is to have augmented reality access for everyone, for objects like this. And the best way to explain augmented reality it's actually to try it. So maybe on the next slide, you can use your phone to scan a QR code we have here. We prepare a special present, and of course I want to say thank you for Innovation Summit and all guests that you spend the time here and for invitation for us. So we prepare a small present for Innovation Summit. I will launch it again. So it's augmented reality logotype for Innovation Summit. You can scan a QR code. You'll go directly to our website and click open in augmented reality. Probably you will need a space where there are enough light. So remember, some kind of issue is possible for a dark room, but feel free to try it in the lobby and create a content. You can share it in Instagram. We'll be really happy if you will do this. So we'll help to kind of share your augmented reality experience. In any issues, you can communicate with me directly after the speech, or with me, or with my colleague Alex. So we'll help you to manage how to do this. And the last slide, it's a contact, of course. So you can scan this code to go to our website and to communicate and to share your vision with augmented reality. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming to Innovation Summit.